Welcome back to Cheddar News. Here's a question for you. Are sneakers a smarter investment than gold? Well, one company thinks so, and that company, Rares, is a new investment platform for sneakers, allowing investors to get in on the asset class projected to be worth $120 billion by 2026 in just a few years. So joining us now is Rares CEO Gerome Sapp. Gerome, really happy to have you on here. There's such a fascinating concept. First, can you tell us more about why you think this is such an opportunity, and you saw this opportunity in sneakers?
Well, thanks for having me. The reason it's a good opportunity is it's not even a projection that sneakers is a better asset class in terms of investment than gold. It actually is. Sneakers have outperformed gold, the S&P 500, and many other traditional securities that have been doing well over the years. And sneakers have been doing it consistently for the past decade. So this is a great asset class. It's a new asset class in terms of an investment class, and we're leading the way in terms of fractional ownership in it.
So how does Rares work exactly? Break that down for us.
Sure. So we're qualified or regulated by the SEC, the same governing body that regulates the stock market. So every sneaker that we acquire is qualified by the SEC and essentially securitized, turned into a security. After that, we split that shoe into shares, virtual shares, and allow individuals to invest in those shares via the IPO process on our platform. Once all of those shares are purchased via the IPO, just like any other IPO with a traditional company in the normal stock market, once all those IPOs, all those shares are purchased, it goes into secondary trading, and people can then let the market factors take over. So we act just like the world's first true stock market, but for sneakers in a way, and allow people to really take advantage and leverage the appreciation value of sneakers, which have been appreciating consistently over the past decade and more.
What kind of investors, I've got to ask, are interested so far in this platform? And are you seeing a benefit from the rise in the retail investor?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a benefit in the rise of the retail investor, but also with the pandemic, I think people have, started to think outside the sneaker box, so to speak, in terms of ways that they can invest and alternative ways of investing. But in terms of the Rares platform and how does it work? So we actually take a shoe. Actually, the question you asked me was what kind of investors. So we actually have all kind of investors. That's the beauty of Rares. Not everyone who comes to our platform is a sneakerhead, and we know that. We have people who come just for the financial gain of it. People like day traders who just want to make a buck off anything. We have people who we call are nostalgia hunters, meaning they recognize that shoe was a shoe that they wore maybe in high school, and they got their first kiss wearing that 1985 Jordan. They just want to invest in a piece of happiness from their past, and that happens to be in a sneaker. Or we have people who really appreciate the culture. Our tagline is invest in the culture. So, we really represent that. And all the shoes have a story. So we make sure we tell the story around that sneaker so people understand, why is this shoe or why is this sneaker culturally relevant? What was going on in the world when this sneaker was made? Who was collabed with this sneaker? Why is it rare? Why is this sneaker scarce? And why is the value attached to this sneaker?
And certainly, if you are a sneakerhead, if you're someone who understands this, sneakers and the sneaker world and just how exclusive some sneakers are versus the other, this gives you an opportunity to invest in something that you can fully understand in a way the traditional investors invest, but with something that is tangible and they understand. I want to ask you really quickly about the $1.8 million Yeezys, about this acquisition. Tell us more about it.
Oh man, yeah. Well, you hit it on the head. People invest in what they know. And we also take that a step further. We feel that people not only invest in what they know, but they invest in things that they feel make an effort to want to know them back. And you said it, sneakers are tangible, it's relatable. People relate to sneakers. Even if you don't know the value of a sneaker, you have a certain familiarity with the sneaker already. Now, in terms of the $1.8 million Yeezy purchase, we wanted to make a splash coming out. We're a startup. We're coming out of the TechStars program. And also, there's a personal connection with that sneaker. I remember I retired from the NFL in 2008. And I remember watching that performance when Kanye West was actually performing live at the Grammys in 2008 wearing that sneaker. And I remember it represented a new beginning with a bigger end. And that was me leaving the NFL, coming into the entrepreneur world. So when that opportunity came for me to purchase that sneaker through Sotheby's, we negotiated with Sotheby's, and how can we pass up on that sneaker? That is the grail of the sneaker industry. It's a one-of-a-kind prototype, and it represents actually a first of what was to come. Kanye was the first artist to collab with Nike, and now that's a common thing. But that was the first of that.
Yeah. Before I let you go here, I've got one more question that I can ask you. I just want to ask your thoughts on the broad, concept of these newer asset classes coming out and what that says about the newer investor or just investors overall. Should they be thinking more outside the box with new asset classes like this, just growing in their momentum that we're seeing them come out?
Oh, absolutely. I think with Generation Z coming up behind us, the stock market is kind of like their parents' kind of playground that they don't really know about, and they feel like that it doesn't really want to get them or give them the information to play fairly in it as well. So when you introduce alternative assets, or as we look at them as hobbies, whether it's trading cards, whether it's sneakers or liquors, we're introducing something that people have a comfortability with. And that's what that represents. People have a comfortability with these alternative assets. So they have a better chance of investing more and being more loose with it. But, this is the future. People, like we talked about, will invest in what they know. And this is, as it relates to these alternative assets, sneakers is something that a lot of people know, but I think it's going to scale well beyond sneakers. And we want to be at the forefront of that at Rares. We want to become literally the stock market for alternative asset investing. We're starting with sneakers, but we'll scale to many other assets.
Well, there's certainly a lot of room for investors to be interested here. And you got to make sure to come back and keep us posted as the company and platform hits milestones to come. Thank you so much, Rares CEO Gerome Sapp.